So now, it is time for me to review a brand new arcade cabinet. And you're probably expecting it to be some kind of deluxe or unique arcade 1-up. But it's not an arcade 1-up this time, because I could do much better than that. And in fact, it's on its way right now. Welcome everyone, for the first time in history, to this, the Chuck E. Cheese Iceball Arcade Pro. And it's not just any Iceball Pro. This one is mine. And I know what everybody's gonna be thinking, what store did this come from? Where'd you dumpster dive it? Did you go off eBay or Facebook Marketplace? Yada yada yada, I already know. But this might be a Chuck E. Cheese game, but this is an Iceball Pro. But it's not just any Iceball. This is the home unit. You can have Iceball or Skee-Ball at home. And this is directly from Ice Games. But I do have a bit of a story of how this came to be. Way back when, back in the late 2010s, Arcade 1-Up was doing extremely good about having arcade games at home. And they recreated the cabinet classics such as Pac-Man, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, etc. And they were really good. And then, just during the pandemic, there was a lockdown, people weren't going to arcades, a lot of arcades had to go to bankruptcy, especially Chuck E. Cheese. So, what was these other arcade companies, manufacturers, gonna do? Nobody was buying parts. People were struggling. So, they came up with something pretty brilliant. They decided to make home versions of their games, such as NBA hoops, 2-minute drill or quarterback, air hockeys, and their dome hockey. And they also came up with this, the Iceball Pro. And then, in 2021, they actually made a Chuck E. Cheese version, and they licensed it. So this is actually legit. They make this and a home Hoops FX Pro, the Chuck E. Cheese version. And here's a picture if you don't know what I'm on about. But this is the first time we've actually gotten our hands on one and actually get to take a pretty close look at it. And I could be wrong. Somebody else could have won it. Somebody else probably has won it. So if you have, please feel free to let us know. We would love to know if you've gotten your hands on one. But as far as we're aware of, no one has seen this before. And we knew that they were selling these, but no one has bought it. So this is a pretty unique situation. So you're probably expecting me to make some kind of joke and kind of just do a full-on like little play about this thing. But no, we're actually going to do a very thorough test because this is Ice Games. Speaking as a technician, they are known for their games to be durable and reliable. So, and this isn't even sponsored. This is going to be a genuinely honest, thorough review coming from a technician. So what we're going to be looking at is features, quality, pros and cons, price, and does it look the price that it's made for? So let's jump right in, and we'll start with the features. When it comes to unique features, this does have sound LEDs in pretty decent quality material, because it's pretty solid. And you do have to put this thing together, because you get this piece separate from the ramp. You have to build the ramp yourself, and you have to attach all the wiring, which I can say was actually pretty simple. It took me a while because I'm just one of me, but you know, it's pretty straightforward, and it does come with a simple instruction manual on how to put it together. There's also videos on YouTube, and it's pretty straightforward. And I will tell you that this thing was heavy. So just be prepared for that. I guess I'm in a fortunate situation where I'm putting this in the garage. But if you're bringing this downstairs, you're going to need some extra help. But yes, you actually do get a manual that comes with this thing. And the other features, apart from coming in separate pieces, they do give you like a little kit. It comes with all the screws and the hardware, and actual alley roller balls. Because Chuck E. Cheese's normally don't really have like an ice ball unless they're a franchise, for instance. So this is kind of unique. So normally, when it comes to like an alley roller, and I've spent years working on it, normally you would have the play pass right about here. The ball release would be on this side, which is normal. But you normally don't have these buttons right here. This is the control panel. I know, it's kind of shocking. So there's no mechanics, there's no coin slot, there's no ticket mechs, there's no ball release solenoid. It's basically just the LEDs, the electronics, the speakers, the LEDs, the sensors, and that's it. So basically when you go down here, you have the start button, which you can turn it off with if I just hold it down. And it shuts off, and then when you want to turn it on, if it's plugged in, just press the start button. And the other cool features too is that you can actually choose up to 4 players to play like any game that they provide on this particular cabinet. You can also adjust the volume with these 2 buttons, which I might take off at some point, but we'll see. And another thing about alley rollers is normally you would see this kind of front panel, and that's where the board and the speaker would be, but it's completely open. And same with the sides. It's not fully closed off. It's open. And the other thing too is that they put LEDs underneath the actual lane, and I think that's actually a nice touch. It makes it pop even more. But I particularly love this marquee. I know you can't see because the exposure value on here, but this marquee was impressive, and that's why I chose this particular cabinet over the other one. And you also, instead of that little matrix display, you get like an LED display, which I think is pretty cool as well. And they're actually pure quality. These are actually the legit material they actually use in their alley rollers or Iceball, etc. In this particular pack, they actually chose the colors in advance, because if you chose like the normal Iceball, you can actually choose the lane colors and everything, and you can have these sound dampening pads as an extra, but this actually came with it. So it shows that quietness is actually important too, which I can definitely say. It's very quiet with the pads. And the other thing I love too is up here. We have 4 strips of LEDs, and instead of it just being the wood panel and the LEDs, there's actually a bit of foam to protect the material, which I think was a really nice touch. Because on alley rollers, the actual alley roller, there's actually a light. And a lot of people don't realize this. It's a 4-pin regular light bulb you just replace. And it basically just has like plexiglass on top. It lasts for a while, but having that shows that they really want this thing to last. And that's impressive. And that's a huge step up from the alley rollers. And with the normal Iceball Pro, it just has like a simple color and just has the Iceball Pro logo just right about where Chucky is. But with this, they actually outdid the design. It's colorful, it pops more, and I like the design they had. It's not simple, but it's actually colorful, unlike their 2.0 remodels. I think this has a lot more time taken into designing how this cabinet would look. Another thing I do like is that they didn't put that acrylic on the front, because on alley rollers, they had this like chrome strips that you would mount the acrylic to. And that's what protected the front, so that way they weren't throwing it at the thing. But from experience, those things were heavy and they were expensive. So I'm glad they never put that on, because it's more open. But I guess the other thing too is that it shows how durable this thing is. And the other thing too, there's little acrylic on the sides. And instead of the cage, which they did on the original Iceball, they didn't do that. They just did the acrylic and made it look like the actual cage. They just didn't put it on the front, which I think it's kind of smart, because it makes it look nicer at the same time. And the acrylic is going to be easier to replace, and it won't look as shoddy as the metal cages that they would put on. And like I said before, there's no mechanics in here, so instead of the solenoid being here, it's just a simple ball ramp, and it's just coming down by gravity. And I have I've looked at other models. People are probably wondering why I bought this specific one, why I bought the Iceball Pro, and I've looked at a lot of other models. They actually did something smart and kept it the traditional way, coming out through the sides. Because a lot of other ones, I won't call anyone out, but they would have it come out in the center, and that just doesn't look good to me. We're gonna move on to features. This actually comes with multiple games. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna do the Classic 9, which is basically just a traditional skee ball, or ice ball really. And you actually get 6 original games that come with this cabinet and they're programmed into the machine. So what we're going to do now is try just the Classic 9 just to show you the feel and how it looks and how it sounds. And you would think, because this is an exclusive edition, it might have original Chuck E. Cheese sounds. And I actually did ask Ice this before I actually got this. It doesn't. It just comes with the original Iceball Pro sounds you get with the other one that you can, the traditional one you can actually get.
Iceball Arcade Pro.
Now, I was really hoping for custom Chuck E. Cheese audio and sound effects, but even though the normal one sounds really good, it's a little disappointing.
Game over.
Now, there are pros and cons when it comes to this Arcade Pro that you're getting your hands on. I think it looks fantastic and the quality feels really close to an actual alley roller you would actually play in the store. And the other thing too is like they kept it traditional, and I think they did this one right. Another thing for me is if you're wanting to buy this thing, it's the size. And I've looked at other ones as well, because if you looked at some other ones that their other brands are selling, they're a lot smaller. But they don't look as good. But this one looked better. The front, it might not be a big deal, and a lot of people don't realize this when you get a skee ball or an alley roller or an ice ball in this spec. Size is going to be the crucial thing. If you have space, you better have plenty, because this thing is huge. And I'm just talking about from the front, because you might not notice it very much. But on the side, this thing is huge. Like, it literally almost takes up half of my floor. But if you are looking to get into one of these things, you're gonna have to have plenty of space.
Just to give you a rough idea of the size, the regular Iceball Pro is just about the same size as a normal Iceball FX.
I feel like it should have been more Chuck E. Cheese oriented, and they should have added some custom sounds when it comes to the cabinet instead of just keeping it traditional, because you're paying a little extra. And the other thing too is I think it was a missed opportunity to just stick with Rockstar. And I feel like they could sell a lot more if they had the option to actually customize which Chuck E. Cheese era they would like to have. Because I know Rockstar is the current, but not everybody likes Rockstar. And people remember Chuck E. Cheese because they have a lot of original games, especially on their alley rollers, their cheese roll, or the Chuck E. Cheese skee ball. I think it's a missed opportunity, and they could have made a little bit more money just by being able to have a custom option, just to choose which era they want, from the Pizza Time Theater to the Chuck E. Cheese Pizza, or to the 2000s when it comes to Adventure. And that probably would have sold a little more. But I can see if they see this, they might be open to doing it in the future. It might be tricky, but I think it's a possibility they can do. Since they've made a lot of Chuck E. Cheese games in their past, it might not be a big deal. But I do love the design of how this came out. And then there's the price. So for a normal one of these, without any of the Chuck E. Cheese stuff on it, it's about $62.95 with tax. But with this, and there's really no easy way to say this, it's at least $7 grand.
The Chuck E. Cheese Iceball Pro is the most expensive, but I do feel like it gives a lot more character than the normal version. And even if you wanted to get a custom version of the regular Iceball Pro, you would still be setting back $7,000.
Another thing too is, like, you're probably thinking, oh, he's just wanting to test it for himself. No. I think we should get some more people to test this thing out. In order to give it a proper test, let's get some more people to try this out.
But to make sure I had a proper Chuck E. Cheese experience with this thing, I had to pull a Hawaii fan, Studio 17, out of retirement. And he was having a ball.
In recent years, I have not liked the direction that they have been going, but this is a good start of a better direction. I think this was a smart move to make, because there are a lot of people who want to have Chuck E. Cheese stuff in their home, and I think this is a good start. If they lower the price, it would be better. I think this is something everyone should be able to get. I think it's worth it.
If you don't want to spend up to $7,000, go for a regular version. But if you want something that tells a story about what your interests are and something that'll get people talking, I would go with this one because I think it's perfect.